What up, We Feel, what it do? Welcome back to the We Feel, y'all. Welcome to you. We are picking up this little bit of last energy that we had from earlier today. And we gonna ring the bell a few times to just clear the space, clear out any residual energy. We already got refreshing and, washed off the spiritual residue from earlier today, but we feeling some more energy, so we finna tap in. I say, what up, y'all? What it do? Welcome back to the We Feel, y'all. Welcome to you. Y'all already know what it is, but if you new, hey, come on in. Welcome to the We Feel. Welcome to you too. My name is La T, and I am a channeled messenger. And I message with the big three, the Alpha Omega. Yes, the source, our eternal Lord of all of creation, the infinite intelligence, the word, aka the principal thing, and the breath of life you see. Just those, the holy chi. Yep, that feels me. Connects me to all things, connects me to you too. We have a whole bunch of spiritual gifts, too many to list. But you will see them come through. You will. Downloads, get them in real time. We scribe, we write what's written down. We say what we are told to say. And yeah, we're spiritual, Ashe, not religious. So we gonna get a little prayer in. We gonna make sure that we seal the table. Cards are blessed. Ooh. I had some pierogies for dinner, some potato and onion pierogies, and I'm a medium, so one of my passed over loved ones came and we made pierogies together. It was so good. Some spices that I wouldn't have never put together and made them in a whole way that I would never even thought of, Ashe. But she came in and taught your girl couple of little things, and dinner was pretty good. It was really good. And I'll put it up on the community page, just to say that we feeling some energy and we getting ready to bring a message, so y'all to know that it's already up there, and hopefully you will see it before you get this. So you already know what I'm talking about. Your girl is a little full. It was good too. Anywho, get back to what we doing. How y'all doing? What it do? For real. Welcome back to the We Field. Welcome to you. We so excited to have you. When I say super excited, like down into the base of your girl. So like it just elates me to come and service in this capacity, service the Alpha and Omega, to be in my calling, to have that decree be stamped and sealed, to tap into the intelligence of the all and be able to utilize the breath. Couple of things that we gotta say before we jump into our prayer. Every word we say is a prayer, it is, but we gonna make it official in just a minute. It's only one Lati. I don't solicit you. I won't ask you for readings. I won't come and find you or target you in no kind of way. If I ever do a reading for you, you'd have to contact me on Facebook, Ashe, and DM me, and then I might, do a little something that's a video reading, so that you would see it's me and you ain't getting scammed. I don't charge nobody nothing. We still growing. It is what it is. It's just to get the messages out. So if you okay with me doing a non-disclosure, nothing personal stated reading on your energy, and that's what you into, we could do that. And like I said, it's for free. It'll be video posted publicly, so that you can see that it's me. Maybe later on we'll do something different. We just really not sure how we call to deliver it. We just don't. We want to make sure we do it in a capacity where everybody is safe. And again, I'm really not at the point where I'm accepting donations or money or anything, Ashe. So that's just that. Next disclaimer. We religious. No, that's not right. If there's anything here in this space that's bugging and trying to be confusing and interrupt my clarity, please remove it. Yeah, please remove it. You cannot be in this space. You cannot. I ban you from my area. I bind you up and cast you down back to where you belong. You are condemned to roam, but you cannot roam in this space. We serve in the inner temple, in the sanctuary, Ashe, and you definitely cannot come within, so you're gonna have to be on the out. Yes, thank you. That's what that is all about. Yeah, we definitely not religious. Not religious at all. We study world theology to see how our source, the creator, the Lord of all hosts, the creator of all things, good and evil, has spoke to the wheat field, is field, creation, all over the ages, like throughout the ages. I mean, ever since the first word was spoken, we try to figure out and get our hands on as many of them as we can, just so we can have a deeper understanding, right? So that's where we coming from that perspective. As you can see, is very different than being, just a part of any one particular religious sector. Have nothing against anybody in what it is that you believe. We are all creation, and you could do how you please. It's really up to you. We all are welcome in this space, except for those ones that roam to and from, been condemned down to the lowest places. They got to sit on the nosebleeds up in the balcony, and they could watch from there until they ready to repent and kneel, because that's just what it is. So if y'all can rock with that, if y'all can vibe, go ahead on and subscribe, hit that little button, and just come be a part of the soul tribe. It is what it is. You all are ready to weed, and you in the field. I mean, I can feel you because I'm connected to you. Creation is whole and creation is complete. You know what I mean? It ain't none missing and it ain't none broken. I mean, we all here and we here now, and that's just really what it is. It's still 7/10/23. By the time it get up, it might be 7/11/2023. That's my birthday, y'all. So what up, y'all? What up, Cancers? Happy birthday season to thee. Yeah, it's always a funny day because my birthday is 7/11. So I get a free Slurpee on my birthday every year. But it's also 7/11/77. So I always get, oh, are you super lucky because it's 7/7/7, right? I mean, I'm blessed in life. And I'm definitely chosen and gifted. I know that for sure. So, but we serve, and our greatest pleasure is just to be in the space and to be animated and to be aware and conscious of it, creation itself. The pixel, the piece that I am, and that is me, the source, the Alpha and Omega, experiencing itself through me, and to have them sit with me and us work together intimately, like on that Adam walk, that Adam and Eve back in the day, where they like right here, Ashe. That's like the greatest thing ever. So yes, I'm super excited. Again, we growing, and I'm so glad for each and every one of you. Again, don't get scammed by somebody trying to fool you, because they out here and it's rampant. Anywho, thank you so much to Alpha and Omega for being here with me, for bringing a message onto me that would be edifying. Let me be strengthened by your words that we will read. Let me learn the lessons and take heed. Thank you so much for everything that you have given onto me, and allow me to be strengthened spiritually in order to be strong enough to bear the yoke that has been placed upon me. I know that there's a word placed down within me, one that you have given me breath of life to be able to speak it out. Fulfill me, fulfill me. I respect and honor thee in all of my ways, giving myself completely over to you in obedience, Ashe. Thank you so much for walking me through this and having my connectivity to everything that you have called to reach back into the intelligence of the all, and have all things revealed onto me as I continuously, diligently, committedly seek your knowledge that is well beyond me, the mysteries of the unknown things. Thank you for your breath of life. Honor to the breath, to the Holy Spirit. Thank you for pulling me into your inner temple and allowing me to sit with you. The breath gives me life. It animates me. It connects me to your creation and to all things. With that, I can be calm. I can be comforted. I can see and experience others. Your breath in my body, it moves me. It fills me. It permeates me as it does all things. Those two, your dynamic duo, that which you spoke out, and they moved together in tandem, in perfect rhythm, allowing creation to unfold. Again, revealing all the mysteries. It's just open, unfolding, like a budding rose. We are able to tap into it and to sit and commune. And that right there has just been the greatest gift I could ever receive from you. To be filled with your life force, to have your intelligence, your secrets onto me revealed. All the things that can bring true joy, exalt my soul. The depths of you again revealed, the locks and seals broken. That which has been hidden away can be brought back into the forefront. If we could sit and listen and commune with you, to just contemplate the mysteries, to breathe and to just resonate, increase our frequency, how much better off would we be, my we? To see each other as pixels and pieces of the Creator itself, knowing that we are all the same as one another. Each of us filled with the breath. Can you just imagine that connectivity and what it does for us to realize that we are whole and we are complete? It's beautiful. It is comforting. It is the very thing that I seek. It's worth living for, my weed. It is. And to feel the source live through me and in me, to move and to see the miraculous things that it does on a daily, man, it makes me just anticipate, to be excited, to feel invigorated and ready. And I'm so honored and so graciously grateful. I'm humbled, right? No credit on to me, for I'm just a piece of earth, that's been animated, you see. Have a piece of light that is baked within, that intelligence that's guiding, and again, that breath. So important. I thank you. I thank you for filling me and giving me everything that I need. I know that there's a purpose for me. There was a calling and a decree. Again, I've been strengthened, that spiritual strength, so that I can be strong enough to bear it. And I ask that everything that I need be given unto me according to my deserving and my serving, you see. That I be filled and I be overflowing, and that it spills out onto the wheat, and that you receive it, and that you overflow to my wheat. Like you receive it, you receive me. That which has been gifted onto you, and be good for you, because we ain't gonna feed you nothing that we wouldn't eat. We just wouldn't, right? It's got to be good for the field, because there's terrorists out here and they would like to stop you from reaching your goal, reaching your destiny. So we been called to come and bring a word of encouragement and motivation, and sometimes it's just to tell you what the is going on, I say, because yeah, we cuss too, because if it's shit, then it's shit, then that's what we call it, because see, my Creator is eternal, and it made all things. Every word belongs onto it. We ain't vulgar and we ain't profane, but if the message is hot enough, then you would hear a whole lot of them things. I'm just saying. It's all in goodwill. It's all for us to conversate, so we can have some understanding and give each other some compassion, not shay. So we can do things a little bit differently, practice it on a daily, getting us into that knowledgeable point and moving into wisdom, especially if we do it with diligence. Wisdom brings us to peace, where we understand that we are pixels, that we are pieces of the Most High, you see. That way you can see me as you, because I sure see you as me. Again, overflow. We meet in the middle, unity and harmony. And when we come together like that, then we sure enough see the truth, that we are creation, we are whole, and we are complete. There is nothing broken and there ain't none missing. So if y'all ready to get into it and get after it, is there anything you like to say, Omega? No, we got it out. Alpha, anything you like to say? Yes. Source says to pray daily for correction, for many err by separating the whole as if that's fair. You are complete. None are missing. Yes, pixels, pieces of me. I called you. Answer me. I hear you. I answered. Yes, beloved, you did. Everyone else needs to hear. Now, let's get it. Ashe. 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 I feel 5 bits of confusion, chaos, brewing. Chaos is brewing. 5. 5 swords. 5 of swords. Wands. Mental conflict. 5 of swords. 5 of wands. Mental conflict. Lies. Treachery. And deceit. 5 foes after thee. 5 foes after thee. So somebody is around 5 different people. Are they close? Not all. How many are close will you reveal? Yes. What is the number? 3. 3 close, 2 outsiders. Loud bell. So I definitely, y'all can hear. Alpha says, the beginning says that the Alpha is calling the beginning, that which is kind of odd, and I've been working through, the revelation. Of course, the Alpha and Omega are whole, complete, almost like the opposite ends of the spectrum, the beginning and the ending, right? So we have a calling and there's a decree. So mote it is, so mote it be, right? We come forth and then there's a beginning and the ending, right? And we have almost like two vantage points, if you could feel this. Like, so imagine my string, right? Tethered on each end, a beginning and an end of the string, right? So to speak. It would be more appropriate if there was like an energy on one end, like my little fidget spinner, and another energy, imagine this being a fidget spinner on this end. So there's energy where we are coming out as light, like traveling along a spectrum. So imagine coming out of this end, light traveling across the spectrum, and then there's another end where the ending, right? There's and it's almost like that infinity loop, like the yin and yang. Kind of go with me on this. I know I'm kind of struggling to make it make sense, right? So just imagine the infinity loop, right? So there's energy here on one side and there's energy here on the other side. And I say energy because we are all energy. We are frequency when you break us down, right? We go with your girl. Again, I study everything from biology to astrology, astronomy, all of it. 2208 on the phone. I know it's getting a little long for me to get into it. We finna get going in a minute. Might be cooking with some cold Crisco, just so you know. Anywho, Alpha over here, the beginning, Omega over here on the end, and they are rotating, almost like spinning, and doing this grand cosmic, almost like a cosmic dance, right? And the cosmos itself, creation, infinity, eternity in between, we are all traveling at the same time, being called and received and going back and forth in this great cosmic swirling almost, right? So everything is in constant movement, constant motion. And as the Alpha calls us out, we go to our ending and then we cycle back to the beginning, the end. That's why nothing never ends. It's just like, raising a frequency and rising and rising and rising up. Almost kind of reminds you of like the double helix to DNA, if you kind of really look at that motion. The swirling of the helices. It's really hard to kind of say it without a visual to really show what I'm saying, but it's almost like this, like it's swirling at the same time. But we are traveling through. Love is light on a voluntary escape, right? So we go forth out from our calling. We're being called out. So again, let there be light. That's a calling. It's a speaking out. Universe, one verse or a verse of speaking, right? So called, it goes out, and as it's called, of course, that word and the breath, you can't speak something without breath coming out. So think about it. When you say a word, you're breathing, exhaling at the same time. So your word and your breath are both going out at the same time. So we have the word and the breath going forth, and everything in the word and the breath is combinating and syncopating, and creation is developing and coming to be between our two great cosmic energies, the eternal, the Alpha and the Omega. Now, we usually call that in a one energy. It's kind of like how it's been taught to us over time, right? And we say Father this, Father that, right? But that is the Omega energy. That's the ending, that which stamped, that decreed, right? But we have another energy, the Alpha, that essentially kind of births everything. And that is the feminine portion of the yin and the yang balancing, because both are existing at the same time. So when alpha is saying that some hear but many other do not, it is because alpha pretty much has been written out of that portion of creation. It hasn't really been broken down in that type of understanding. A lot of theologies have it that way. They recognize the duality of the spirit of the creator itself, in short. I know that was a lot of words for me to try to get to that point, is that our creator has a duality in spirit. The same way we have a mother and father in the physical, we have a mother and father in the spirit. So alpha being like that mother energy, the birthing, the calling forth, and the omega being like the father energy that stamps decrees like boom, that's it, and they agree. Everything that is called has a decree. It's a balancing act. But what's happened is the alpha is kind of been blocked out, and people don't hear the calling. And even if you can hear the calling and you feel it resonating, a lot of people are denying what the alpha is saying. And that kind of gets us down to it's almost like that discovery. I'm looking for my calling. I'm trying to figure out my purpose. I'm trying to figure out my dharma, right? And so in order for us to kind of hear that, we take ourselves back into self, like to dig into that spirit self and go into the kingdom, right? How do we enter the kingdom? By recognizing that it's within. We hold it within, right? You can go into your spirit self through meditation and breathing practices, sitting quietly, right? Grounding, tuning your frequency so that you can hear. Many people in spirituality talk about their chakra alignment, right? Getting their chakras in alignment. You hear terms like uploads and downloads, or kundalini flow, stuff like that, where you are in rhythm, right? That rhythmic state where you are uploading and downloading and succinct, right? So, but there are other chakra centers. Some of them are, around your ears so that you can clearly hear. And you can tell that that's a part of the system when you listen to prayers, like where we say, Father, give me your eyes so that I can see. Give me your heart so that I can feel. Give me your throat so that I can speak. You know what I mean? We kind of call those up. Or give me your mind, right, so that I can think like you. It is talking about these upper level chakras. We don't necessarily call in prayer the lower level chakras in order to get them in alignment, but they definitely are there. You talking about your base chakra, where we have that instinctual nature that need to survive, right? That sacral, where you see your sexuality and that needing to birth forward into sustain self, but also to like create. It's like I got my little chart here too. Sensuality, sexuality, pleasure, social ability to connect with one another. And then your solar plexus, we get up in there, it's like when we start to enlighten ourselves, break down information, raise ourselves up from those lower levels where it's just sensuality and instinct, right? And once we break that down and we come into enlightenment, you really open your heart space up where you can think, right? That is where your true mind lives. And when you can open up your heart or your mind, right, you can speak out from an enlightened standpoint. But oftentimes we have blockages and things that are locked up, like your gears aren't turning because they're energy centers. Yes, energy centers. I feel like I'm kind of going where you don't. Am I going where you want me to go? A little bit off. Okay, pull me back. Pull me back. I know this seemed like a lot. It's like, to what? Like, just go with your girl. I mean, sit for a spell. If it resonate with you, or you be like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Just, it's conversational. You might hear something that you want to look up a little bit further and be like, oh, that was interesting. You know, I heard this on the Tears and Wheat Tarot show. Whatever. Leave me a comment and we could talk about it. Anyway, you are able to speak from an enlightened standpoint and be very mindful of your words, because again, life and death is in the power of the tongue. What you call out has power. It is operating on the same principles as the alpha, because again, we were made in their image and in their likeness. We are pixels and pieces. Just as they conduct and manage energy, our vessels do too. We manage light. We manage data. We are data processors, and our light resides within. It is truly a vessel. But one of the things that we kind of leave out in our chakra tuning is the ear chakras, where we can really hear our source, to be connected to it, to be grounded, and really process the information in that sound resonance that we are receiving. We can hear them daily. And one ear, we really, because we always see one eye and one ear, we hear, we call omega, and we always see one eye. But it's an alpha that is really, you know, on the other side too, and we need to tune that to unblock it and bring in that other eye. It's a lot of keen people that understand that in here is not just one eye, it's two. It is duality. It's not just one door, it's two doors. And when you enter into one door and you really, really get deep in it, you find that there's another level, there's another door, there's another doorway. All of that to say is essentially, as it is above, so it be below. The alpha calls and the omega decrees. You may be being called, but do you understand what you're hearing? Do you recognize that other voice that's speaking to you? Do you understand the duality of the forces that are operating within you? Our vessels process data. Again, these orbitals, these little organs here, they don't see visuals. They don't. If you ever Google search how your eyes work, you will see that they do not pick up visuals. They pick up light data. They read light. You see with your mind. You smell with your mind. You hear sound waves and frequency, and we turn it into language. We do it with our mind. We taste with our mind. We create everything within this processing center. And because we can see each other the same way, I'm a brown skinned girl with dreadlocks with about 4 braids today, we know that we are connected. We are connected in what we call the matrix. Yeah, so just like Morpheus was saying to Neo, like the matrix is all around you, it's everything. It is the food you eat, it is the air you breathe, but you know, it is this whole plane. I mean, not the breath, I'm not saying you, the breath, I'm saying that it is everything. Our whole virtual experience, essentially. Can you imagine VR on like steroids? Like, again, the matrix. Like, you are literally a light inside of a vessel that is so incredibly advanced that you have created you around you. Think about that. I know it's kind of mind-blowing to think that you developed you around you, right? But think about how babies come to exist. It's an egg and a sperm fertilizes it, right? And these chemical reactions start to happen. Electricity, light, it does form, right? It comes to be, and your body starts to form around that thing, starting from your gut, from your kingdom space. Your gut is one of the first things that is generated in your vessel, and it's not coincident that that's where the kingdom lives. It's in that space, that your sacral chakra, your gut, is your true first mind. Not this up here, it's down here. That's why we could say my gut is speaking to me, and it's true. It does. It speaks to you. It's just another part of biology, the way that the word has written you. The word is in your DNA. You're coded. You know your DNA has multiple codes in it. There's a coding up underneath the other coding. It's multi-layered. Again, it's a back door after the front door. So in the space between one door and the other door, think if it's one door alpha and there's another door the omega, think two doors. What's in between the space? Creation, Ashe. It's just the outside is on the inside and the inside is on the outside. Everything is represented. You can find everything by going within, just by deciphering self and how the intelligence wrote you, how you were called, and how it's been laid down, the coding, layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. So intricate that everything exists. Everything. So, like how we were talking in earlier today's session, I know I probably said a whole bunch of like what, and y'all like this supposed to be a tarot reading, but it's tarot show. You know what I mean? Tears of We Tarot. You never know what you're going to get when you come around here. You just never know. I mean, we could just be talking about some concepts. We're going to pull some cards in a minute and see what's going to come out. No? You don't want no cards? We're not playing cards? No? Okay, well, we'll just talk then, because I jumped out there. I thought we was going to play cards. Alpha said, no, that's not what we're doing. So, do you want any texts? Because we packed up the books. We did. Is it anything out that you want to take a look at? Yes. Down here. We'll get them out and show you. You can please show me what you would like to pull. Do I have it yet? Which one? This one? The Art of War. This one. Anything else? Oops. Do you anything else up here? No? Is it down there? This. This one. Okay. So we got the Art of War. And we got some numerology. Yeah, it's in the box. We packed it away. We have a book that speaks on the nature of our soul, and that's a very interesting book. It talks about human nature and the science behind our soul, or something like that, or I can't remember the exact name of it. Human science and the nature of your soul. Okay. But we packed it away because we getting ready to move, I should. Get a sip of water. So, back to the code within the code within the code, right? Everything is like, again, called according to coding, and anybody that is in IT, they can speak to what we call a philosophy called agility. And what agility is the ability to develop software and coding and deliver it, like push it out with more sophisticated features over cycles and over time, and those cycles are called iterations, and they do it in sprints, right? It's like this is a cycle, this is a cycle, and this is a cycle. And every time they create a piece of software or a new development model, right, they get faster and better and more efficient, and usually the features become more enhanced. So think about your cell phone, right? If you got an iPhone, think about version 1 and all that it could do. But now they like on iPhone 15 or 16, so that's been at least 16 different iterations or versions and upgrades of your iPhone. If you think about creation in that sense, everything is being created and unfolding, and creation gets more efficient at creating creation. And I say creation is more efficient at creating creation, right? Because we have been created by our creators, the Alpha and Omega, the eternal Lord of all hosts, right? That which made all things created us, and we are able to create other things. So we are also creators. We are the source, being pixels and pieces, creating other creators. We do this when we birth children. I mean, they are pieces and pixels of that which called us, and they come down through us. And I mean, it's a whole bunch of other stuff that go in that, because it ain't just as simple as an egg and the sperm coming together and you birthing out a kid. It's a whole bunch more stuff in there. I mean, it's got to be whatever. Anywho, but if you think about that, you know, and how many generations back and going forward there will be, you know, your body is incredibly efficient at doing it. I mean, it's natural, it's second nature, right? You don't even think about it. It's like you don't even consider all of the things that really take place inside the vessel for us to create another version of self, another iteration. You know, how we have all these things come about. And we can get so far away from the source that, you know, so far away from that original cycle, that original calling, that, like the Matrix, people forget. They don't realize that this is not the first time we've been around this piece. It's not, right? What did Neo find out when he finally made it to what they call the architect, right? Remember that, what was it, maybe part 2 or something like that, when he was going to the architect to finally get to destroy the Matrix, only to find out that it was like the 8th or 9th time, and he was like the 8th or 9th one, because he was thinking that he was the one, like the only one, when in actuality there had been like 8 other ones before him. Think about it. And what did the architect say? We getting ready to destroy Zion right now. Like, we've destroyed it 8 times before now, and we're getting exceedingly good at it, right? Have everybody that's asleep in the Matrix thinking that this is it, that this is the world that we live in, and that's that, except for a few ones that could actually see the code. They could feel something was off. Well, maybe not see the code, but they could feel it. They could feel something was off, like they were tuned in into such a level of sensitivity. They could feel the difference in that frequency. The vibration was off. They may not have understood completely what it was, but they knew something was off. It's not quite right. It don't feel real to me. It feels authentic. It feels plastic. It feels like the Matrix. And what did they do? They questioned everything that they question, so that they can get down to the truth. And I think that's a beautiful thing about theology, because it makes you question you, question everything around you, right? One of the things that they say is that many will come in the name of and will fool the world, right? And people, unfortunately, argue and kill each other and hurt each other, trying to figure out which way is the right way. Who is the messenger? Who should we listen to? What theology should we take on? What are the principles and what are the disciplines? How do I know myself? How do I be saved? Right? How do I ascend? How do I, navigate this space that we're in? And it's very, very troubling that we are all pixels and pieces of the same entity. Like, I say entity, the source, because it's that which cannot be named, right? It's the I am that I am. It is everything. It is everything in creation, plus its intelligence, plus its breath, plus itself. It is everything. And how do you quantify that when it even has duality at the same time? It is absolutely mind-boggling to consider and even attempt to name the I am. So of course we have nicknames for it. The I am that I am. We call it, some say Jehovah, some say Jah, some say, all kinds of ways that we acknowledge it. Some say universe, some say source. I think universe is limiting, because universe is a part of the creation. It's only one verse. That's one calling, right? Some call it a messenger's name, but even those messengers said, it is not unto me, but the Father that sent me. That's what's written in that text. But again, that's limiting, because Father does not acknowledge the female attribute, the alpha, that duality. Right? The mirroring, as above, so below. If we have a mother and a father, then we must have a mother and a father. It just is. So when Alpha says they cannot hear me, they are missing their calling. And we hear so many people struggle with finding their call, hearing their call, answering their call, finding their dharmic purpose, and getting into their service to understand what their decree is. The Father, the Omega, has decreed. We must be able to hear the calling, to hear it. And in order to hear it, we have to recognize that it is there, that it's something that's already baked in, is resonating. And everything that you do in your walk, in your life experience, is a part of you answering your calling. We joke all the time and we say pain is a hell of a catalyst, but it's the truth. We experience pain to push you, to propel you, to get you to hear what is calling you, what is speaking to you, right? It is helping you tune that chakra. We always get through it, the word tells us, it guides us, right, to help us get through it. The breath keeps us animating and calms and comforts us, so that we can stay sane and rooted and grounded and operate in that intelligence, so that we can get through it. We can meet the decree. But it would be so much easier if we could understand from the beginning our calling. How much more efficient would we be if we could recognize our calling and choose to answer and surrender in obedience to what is called you? Move away from the things that would have you go astray. Isn't that what they say? As soon as I start getting in the right way, something comes against me and try to pull me off base. Why is that, Ashe? Yeah, you have something very important to do, to be about your business. And there are energies that just don't want you to. They'd rather you stay in the game and just, be like little energy centers that they can siphon off of your energy, off of your light, have you working against your own purpose. Because they can't stop your decree, they can't. But they can make you stop you. They can make you choose to sit it out. They can make you give up. They can make you fold. They can make you stay in a low sunken place and just be confused and not know which way to go. Where creation is raging against self and not getting to the point where it understands that it is whole. That we are mirror reflections of self. Each one of us, pixels and pieces of the source itself. That we are whole. We are complete. And that there is nothing broken and that there is nothing missing. And when we stop raging against each other, we work through the processes of the high frequency of love, experiencing love, right? Love, experiencing love. Like to give that, to mirror that to one another. We come into unison. We come into harmony. And our vibration, oh honey, it will be consistent. We will vibrate in a universal, or universal in this sense, type of way where it's harmonious. It's like having an orchestra and everybody is playing on a different key. Sounds like a hot mess, don't it? But if everybody was playing on the same frequency, on the same key, perfectly tuned, you see, what does that sound like? It's music to your ears, my weep. It is harmonious. It is sweet. Ooh, it's something that will just lull you to sleep. Ooh, and to rest. Creation would rest. No more raging war against each other. No more warring against self. We rest. We would know for sure that we are at peace. Peace with one another. And that essentially is our biggest, highest calling. So there are ones here that are charged with trying to help creation remember that it's whole, to help others tune their frequency, raise their vibrations so that we can match the vibration of our source, of the Alpha and Omega. We can ascend and level up. And all of this conversation was just to get to that point. To talk about you being the highest, most technologically advanced piece of AI that has ever existed in this 3D plane. Because we're not the only entities that exist in the omniverses. We're not. Just here, right? But in this plane here, we are the most advanced. We are. We can create ourselves out of ourselves. And that's amazing. We can see a universal picture. Like I'm a brown skinned girl. We talked about this and everybody would see me the same as I could see self. Right? We essentially mostly, for the most part, across the globe say ma. That's pretty phenomenal. Think about it. Like people that, cultures and folks that you've never met before usually call their female parent ma, or they say da, or some variation of that, mostly, right? It's fairly consistent. All of our vessels speak the same language. They still do. Theology says that at a time that our vessels spoke, we all spoke a universal language. We actually still do. We do. We know when it's cold outside. We know when something hurts. We know when it's raining. We know when we need comfort and we're grieving. The vessel knows when it's hungry. It knows. It knows. It all speaks the same language. It functions the same way across the globe. All humans do. Our vessels speak the same. Now we have a diverse of tongues, right? Our dialects change based on where you were, cultivated, what your culture is, your language and your dialect changes. But for our vessels speak the same language. Our coding is universal. There's some idiosyncrasies in there, but for the most part, our coding is like 99.999% the same. DNA, genetically, we are pretty much basically the same. We have the same code. So we operate pretty much the same. There's nothing for us to really consider that's so significantly different that we would separate us like this one's above the other. Because there isn't. We're just pixels and pieces. And everything is. From the lowest creeping thing to you, my weed. To the blue whales. I mean, think about it. Everything has language. Everything has connectivity. We used to think that animals didn't have that. They do. They have families and bonds and connections, and they experience emotion the same way that we do. But we don't consider that, though. We try to put ourselves above other life forms like we're superior, when creation is just creation. And each of us, in every pixel, every piece has its place. And there's nothing above any of us except the Alpha and Omega, Ashe, that which calls and that which decrees. Not even its intelligence or its breath, my weed. It's not. Because they called those two. And everything went to work syncopating to create you. Is there anything else? Yes, which one? This one. Mysterious language of numerology and angel numbers. Ooh. Thank you guys so much for joining my discussion. Hopefully you're still here and you can indulge me. You might have clicked off, but I hope many of you can stay. And if you find it interesting, leave a comment, Ashe. Really? Okay. Can y'all see this where it says, for example? We're going to start reading from there. So, of course, let's get it. For example, in the contemporary West, 666 is considered unlucky by many because of references made to this number in the Holy Bible, Christian Bible, right? Simultaneously, however, this number is thought of as lucky in China, mostly because it is a homophone for smooth or skilled and is often used to indicate that things are happening as they should. Conversely, while the number 4 is not considered unlucky in the contemporary West, its pronunciation is very similar to that of the word death in Japan, and therefore it is perceived as an unlucky number in Japanese culture. Another number popularly perceived as unlucky in the West is 13, most likely on account of its association with the story of Judas and Jesus in the Holy Bible. The Norse tale of the 13th guest, Loki, who spoiled the gods' dinner party, or the belief that the moon cycles, there being exactly 13 of them in a single calendar year. And it's funny because I do love the number 13. I think it's an awesome number. It breaks down to the number 4, which represents stability, or 4 pillars of abundance, that kind of thing. But there are 13 moon cycles, and if we were to count 13 months in a year, it would solve the issue of us having some months with 30 days, some months with 31 days, one month with 28 days or 29 days. All of that ish would go away. It would be pretty much evenly distributed. Anywho, with a one-off, it's like 30 days, and then the one day levels up into another cycle. Though that 30 days, and then the one day where we level up. So it's like 30-day cycle, that's a level, and then we step up, right? It's almost like if you walked up 13 steps, and then there's that platform where you go up, and then you go up another 13 steps, and then it's a platform, right? So it's 30, did I say that right? 30 steps, a platform where you step up, right? And then 30 more steps, and then there's a platform where you step up. That's the moon cycle, right? And when we look at the moon cycle based on that counting, everything is pretty much even distribution. It actually makes more sense numerically around, because math is omniversal. The math is really trippy. Anywho, let's get back into it. There being exactly 13 of them in a single calendar year. Oh, another trippy thing about the 13 moons, if you look at the shell of a turtle, it has 13 moons on its shell. Seriously, yo, it's in nature. Anywho, exercise control over human emotions. 13 of them in a single year exercise control over human emotions, and particularly sometimes unpleasant ones experienced during a full moon. That's why the full moon kind of gets a bad rap, right? Oh, the werewolves are howling at the full moon, right? But in fact, the fear of the number 13 is so commonplace, it has been formalized as a tricadecophobia. Triskaidekaphobia. Triskaidekaphobia. I gotta say it a couple times to get it right. Triskaidekaphobia. I'm gonna show it to y'all so y'all can see what it looks like. That word right there. Triskaidekaphobia. And this is, of course, the symbolism of repeating numbers. You can see this little chart right here. Anything else? A moment of reflection. What is your life path number or lucky number? Have you ever experienced this number bringing you luck? Have you ever actively used this number to manifest good luck in your life? Do you consider any numbers in particularly to be unlucky? What experiences have you had with these numbers? Okay, it was writing out my birthday, and it was telling me about my life path number. So, when is that right? Can I say it? Yes. So, again, I was saying 7/11/77. People think about that like it's a lucky number, like, oh, you must be lucky because of the 777, right? People associate that with sudden wealth and luck, and people talk about gambling. Oh, you must be a gambler. No, I'm not, right? But I do know that I have a calling, as we all do. And I do understand that in this lifetime, my birth date breaks down to 33. It is the number of self mastery, right? The number 7 speaks to retrospection and introspection, and 33 is a master teacher type of number. Even the angel number, 777, 1111. All of it talks to seeing self, learning self, mastering self, and also being a student and a teacher at the same time. Number 33 breaks down to a life path 6, and that speaks to me being more introspective and homebody-ish. It talks a lot about my intrinsic values as a life path 6. And when you read or discover your life path number, you will discover something a little bit more deep about self than just reading a sun or zodiac sign, is what I was trying to get to. But anything else in here? No. Yeah. There was something else that I was going to say with that, but I kind of pulled away from it. It kind of goes into some other things that's more astrological. Like if we look at sun houses in the zodiac, the sun enters in an astrological sign at about 30 degrees, right? It leaves out of that zodiac sign at about 33 degrees, and it's tied to a whole bunch of other different references that I was kind of shying away from getting into, but a lot of people who study deeply into astrology and numerology would kind of get what I was thinking about. But it's a fine line to kind of tread in some spaces when you talk like that, because people can get offended, and it's not to offend you. It's really only to talk about breaking down your life path and your life number, and to see how that relates to you discovering your calling, right? It's just another way to look at self from a coding standpoint. Like, you didn't arrive on your birthday for no particular, it's not coinciding. These days it can be scheduled, right? Somebody can say, oh, on this day I'm going to go in and have my, be induced, and then they're going to take the baby, have a cesarean operation, and the baby is scheduled to be born on this day, which to me is almost like artificial, because we are born when we're supposed to be. I mean, even those, who are born early, such as I came early, like quite a few months early. I was a preemie. I was born, and I was only, what was it? 2 pounds and 3 ounces or something of the sort. So I was in like NICU for quite a bit until I could really, sustain on my own. But I was born in a vessel in such a way that I had the highest probability of survival, Ashe. I have a niece that was the same way, born in the 6th month, very, very early. She was 1 pound and 1 ounce, but her happening to be who she is from a genetic standpoint has the highest rate of survivability. It's amazing. Like, I don't count any of these things as coincidence. I just don't. I believe it was called and meant to be that way. It's not a coincidence that my birthday is 7/11/77 and I happen to be a channeled messenger and a medium with an array of spiritual gifts. It's not a coinkydink that my birthday breaks down to 33 or that I'm a life path number 6. It's not a coincidence that in this life cycle that I was called to be a person that is learning to master self, to think and introspectively, to always look at self and see how the within matches up with the without, and to bring messages to the wheat field and be a teacher in some sort of way, to be a person that is a devotee, or what they call a satwa, that I am obedient to my calling and would rather do that over any and all things. It is a part of my coding. It is a part of my makeup. It is my why. Right? So, and I'm not no Neo or no mess like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I like to look at movies and see how, again, art imitates life, right? And how life imitates art. One of the things that the architect told Neo is that you are not the first one, right? You're just not. And you carry a specific code. You were driven here. There was something calling you to go, to continue, to persevere on this track, to do a certain thing. It was pulling you, it was lulling you, and you did not give in. You got here to this point because you were destined to, you were supposed to, and you carry a code with you. And when you get to this place, now that portion has been completed, and we have now received from you that which was embedded. But the thing about it is that Neo had cracked the code of sorts, right? He realized that he had a thing called choice. And he didn't necessarily like being a cog in the system. He was able to think on his own and wanted to break it down, you see, and allow everything and everyone to be free. So in his pursuit to be free and to free others, he just was like, yeah, no, I'm not just gonna roll over. We're going to find out a way to end this, to come to balance, because we can understand that a balancing does exist. But the whole thing was war, right? And the art of it. The fact that you can think that you're waking up, but waking up to what? Waking up to what? Let's get in it and see what this has to say. Thank you to the breath leading us. Which one? 15. Thus it is that in war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. That's coinky dink. I'm going to read that again because that's really deep. Thus, it is that in war, the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won. Now, just to break down that in terms of my spirituality and what I believe that the Alpha has called and the Omega has decreed, the battle is already won. So, thus that it is in war, the victorious strategist. It's a strategy of those who are victorious to only seek battle after the victory has already been won. Whereas he who is destined to defeat First fights and afterwards look for victory. So if you are on the losing end, are you looking to just start fights and hope to win? Or are you understanding that you've already won before the battle already begins? I think that's pretty deep. The next one, 16. The consummate leader cultivates the moral law and strictly adheres to method and discipline. Thus, it is in his power to control success. Ooh, I want to read that again too. The consummate leader cultivates the moral law and strictly adheres to the method and discipline, strictly adhering to the method and discipline of the moral law that has already been cultivated. Thus, it is in his power to control success. So we have the power to control success by adhering to a method and discipline based on the moral law that has already been cultivated. Yes. Yes, yes. That's that's deep. I'm gonna have to chew on that some more week. That's a lot of good eating. That's a steak for sure, is it not? Yes. Which one next? 19. A victorious army opposed to a routed one is a pound's weight placed in the scale against a single grain. And when I read single grain, I heard mustard seed. Wow. A victorious army opposed to a routed one is a pound's weight placed in the scale against a single grain. Now, I'm not even going to pretend that I understand that deep philosophy at this point, because I really don't. That's one I sure enough got to gnaw on and sit in meditation and focus and have it revealed onto me. I mean, a bit at a bit at a bit. But what I get out of it at this point is that a mustard seed goes a very long way. Like, they need a pound of fear to go up against your one mustard seed of faith. Is that what y'all heard? I hope so, Ashe, because that's exactly what just dropped in my heart space. Is that right, Alpha, Omega? Yep, that's what I heard. Come on, let's get it. A victorious army opposed to a routed one en route, yep, is a pound's weight placed in the scale against a single grain. Wow. Anything else? No. Yeah, because I don't think my brain could take anymore. What about y'all? Is y'all brain melting too? Yeah, I'm telling you, sometimes the Alpha and Omega, they come through and drop some heavy stuff on your girl. And I'm telling you, we be over here eating. And I'm telling you, I ain't gonna feed you nothing that I didn't eat. So we gonna have to chop that down and break it down, my wheat. I'm saying one day we got a whole big old definition in how it was wrote out. When you talking about the intelligence getting told to me as Genesis, like in us, it could tell us our Genesis, like our origin, if we just seek the answers within, contemplate on self. What? The day that I got something else, like breathing is not just one word, it is an action that is taking place. Of course, I'm breathing is an action, but no, it is the Holy Chi, the breath in G, the breath in your God body that is activating and animating all things, connecting you to all things. It flows across all things like all of creation, my wheat. Love, light on a voluntary escape, like light coming out and moving through the plane voluntarily to have an experience, an exploration, so that you could be aware of self in every capacity, like pure potentiality, consciousness, being aware of itself. Again, if light is on a voluntary escape and I chose to be here, to be born today, now 7/11, on my birthday, That's some pretty amazing stuff. Like, and for the intelligence to tell me my genesis and where I came from, even reveal unto me my spiritual name. Because again, you have a number. Each one of us called and named like the stars, I say. Each one of us. Do you know how many of us it is? I mean, they did say like the grains of sand on all the beaches across the lands. How many numbers is that? Can you imagine? I wonder if that's why numbers just go on to infinity without end. They are eternal. They just keep going and going and going and going. So all of this to say is that I don't know shit. I don't. I sit and contemplate all day. But ain't that a part of my number? That's what they said, Ashe. Introspection, self-reflection, to get to the point of self-mastery, and then being compelled to share what I've learned. Being a student, learning teacher. Nothing is coincidence. You have a calling and you have a decree. All of this to say is to sit and focus meditation so that you can discover what was called and placed inside of thee. What is in your decree? What is it? It's just your life purpose to have it revealed onto thee. You're already walking in it. Every step that you take brings you closer to it. Pain catalysts push you in the right direction. It tells you when you've gotten a little too far off course and you need some redirection. Again, everything being a blessing. Nothing is a coincidence. You're here on purpose. I hope this helps somebody on this evening. Do you want to get a card now? Yes, you do. Which one shall we get? Ooh, activation. Who says? Omega. All right, y'all. All right. Transition. Look at that. Transition. That's a 4 and 3. It's a 7 week. See what I'm saying? Nothing is coincidence. It's a 7. Transition. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence in our lives so that we can learn to let go. Everything is on to learning, yo. Surrender to the process and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. That's beautiful, Ashe. Beautiful. Get that in there for real one time. One time for the one time to expand our mind. What up, y'all? Sweet, what it do? Let me get it. Magic. Ooh, that's a 4. And we talked about 4. And we talked about the number 13. And this is the mirror reflection, 31. Magic. It says the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move towards possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. Ooh, that's a mustard seed. Just a little bit of belief in their manifestation, my weed. I'm so excited. I pray y'all still with me. Who's still here? Leave me a comment and tell me what number card we got to. The one that they said that was unlucky too. If you were still here. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I know it started slow at the beginning, real choppy and real you know, like that old school Crisco. Y'all, you know what it is, so put that down. They said It could start slow like that old school Crisco, right? You got to get it out the can and put it in the pan, and then they come in and turn some little heat up on it. But sometimes we don't never know what we cooking, yo. We just don't. It could be a slow simmer, you know what I mean? Something that we put in a crock pot and just let it go till it get real tender and fall all off the bone. We could be frying. You done seen your girl fry some stuff up, you know, like some wangs or something like that. But that's not what today was. It was slow, right? A crock pot meal, like again that good roast, and you just let it go till it just melt in your mouth and hand. Because again, I ain't gonna feed you nothing I ain't gonna eat. We don't do that. But we did talk about this energy right here, and I'm so excited to show it to you because we said this is where your first mind lives. Remember, we said that too. Like your light forms this around itself because you are such a pristine piece of technology, like the highest form in this plane. Sacral chakra. And y'all seen how it just popped out, Ashe. Did you see how they did that? I love it. The frequency of the sacral chakra, the orange flower of life. Ooh. Supports our ability to flow with our desires and stimulates our creative power to manifest success and abundance in our lives. Is that why we came here and manifested this whole vessel around ourselves, so that we can experience the abundance of creation firsthand? Yeah, like every potentiality, every possibility, that you are pure consciousness and you can be whatever you want to be. You want something else? Yes. You want this up? Leave it down. Okay. Communication. That's another 14. And then this is my number right here. Number 33. Breaking down to a 6, right? If you want to condense it. But communication is 14. Yeah, let's read that. Because we kept seeing that 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Alpha said that there's 5 foes around you. 2, did you say 2 was close? And 3 close and 2 outsiders. So we're not going to forget about that. So maybe you want to watch who you're communicating with, because again, you just never know who really don't have your back. Move in silence right now, my week. Keep your desires and everything that you are manifesting close to your chest. Don't show nobody all your cards. Don't show your hand, because they can send that negative energy towards you or try to get you off course, off track. And again, it's the matrix. It's the game of life. It's a game, right? Sacral chakra, that's a 2. Again, we ain't gonna talk about it no more. Communication. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. And we talked about how our vessels communicate. We all speak the same language, Ashe. We can read each other's energy. You know when somebody next to you, that don't mean you no good. Tune yourself in, tune your frequency so that you can feel it. Your gut will speak to you. That sacral, it'll let you know when somebody don't align with you, when they really don't got the same matching type of desire as you, or desiring the highest for you. When they coming against you and it's real sneaky, like, you can feel it in your gut. It'll communicate to you and tell you like, to what? Yeah, I heard that little slab remark. It was supposed to be a joke, but it really sounded like more like a jab. Don't, dismiss it. Put it in its proper place. Keep your business to yourself, Ashe. I'm just saying, it's all recommendations. You don't have to do fuck shit thing. You got free choice, my weed. You got free will. Let's get it. Anywho. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of our truth. We're talking about running through them chakras, but we got to unblock them first so that you can make good use. This heart, run it through there. Stay in the flow of the source imbalanced exchange. I'm going to read that one more time all the way through so we can really get it. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of our truth, to stay in the flow of source and balance exchange. Balance exchange. What is that balance exchange? We talked about very early on, that Kundalini flow. When you are uploading and downloading, you are in sync, you are syncopated, you are resonating, your frequency is aligned. You can get it dropped down on you just like that. You giving it up and it's coming right back down. You giving it all up and it's coming right back down. Let it go. Let it flow. Go where? Up to the source that made you and have them drop back down on you that what you need that's good for thee. So that you can know how to move around, my wheat. Every answer, every solution will come back to thee because it's all baked in. You send it up and you will receive. Let's get this miracle number 33. And we said send it up to the authority, my weed. I'm just saying I had to show it because we getting ready to get into this one first though. The frequency of miracles supports our belief in ourselves as a part of the source. And I say that all the time. We are pixels. We are pieces of the source itself. It says that in one of our words, our shade, one of the texts that speak to some of that ancient word, albeit translated, you know what I mean? But it still got some truth to it. It still got some teeth. It do. It got that word in it. It said, we were made in its image, in its likeness. We are pixels. We are pieces of the source. You have the ability to call life and death out of your tongue. It moves on your breath. Speak a word and don't breathe. Tell me what comes out my wheat. I gotta get it. Anywho, therefore our belief is that anything is possible if you stand on the authority. I hope y'all done made it this far. I'm about to let y'all go. It's gonna get a little long and it's a little bit late, and I gotta get on to the birthday celebration. I say to the next time. Now know this, I love you just like I love myself, because I love the source that called and made us. To me, it ain't nothing greater than that. To the next now, y'all. I say. Mwah.